Omar's struggle with English in college. Omar was excited to start college. It was a big change for him. He had just finished school and was eager to begin this new chapter in his life. He thought college would be easy, and he was ready to enjoy new experiences. But there was one problem: English. Omar had never been fond of English in school. He found it hard to learn, and he didn't speak much English at home. He spoke his native language with his family. But now, in college, English was everywhere. He had to read textbooks, write essays, and speak English during lectures. Omar felt nervous. He had never used English so much before. Could he survive in college with his struggles in English? On his first day, Omar walked into the classroom. The room was full of students. Many were already talking to each other. They spoke English so quickly that Omar felt lost. The words sounded strange to him. He wasn't sure how he would fit in. Omar sat down quietly in his seat, hoping no one would notice that he wasn't saying much. The professor walked in and started speaking in English. "Good morning, everyone," the professor said, with a big smile. Omar didn't understand everything. He only caught a few words here and there. His heart sank. He felt scared and unsure. "What if I fail this class?" Omar thought. The professor continued talking, and Omar did his best to follow along, but it was hard. The words were so fast, and he didn't know many of them. It was going to be a long semester. Omar was assigned a group project. He had to work with other students. They started discussing the topic for the project. But the problem was that they were all speaking in English. Omar couldn't keep up with their conversation. He felt completely lost. He didn't know how to explain his ideas in English. "I can't speak like them," he thought, feeling frustrated. He tried to say something, but it didn't come out right. The words were jumbled in his mind. His group members looked at him politely, but he could see their confusion. Omar felt embarrassed. He wanted to disappear. How could he catch up? How could he contribute to the project if he couldn't even express himself? The professor gave Omar an assignment. It was a long essay in English. Omar had no idea where to start. He stared at the page for hours, feeling stuck. The words on the paper looked like a foreign language to him. He didn't understand the instructions. He had never written an essay in English before. He didn't know what the professor expected. Omar tried to write something, but it didn't sound right. The sentences didn't flow, and he couldn't find the right words. "What if I fail this assignment?" Omar thought. He was frustrated and overwhelmed. He had never worked so hard on English before. He felt like giving up, but he knew he had to try. One day, Omar decided to ask his friend, Ali, for help. "Ali, I'm really struggling with English," Omar said, feeling embarrassed. Ali smiled and reassured him. "Don't worry, I can help you." Ali explained how to break down the essay into smaller parts. "Start with a clear idea," Ali said. "Then, write your points slowly, one by one." Omar listened carefully, and with Ali's help, he felt a little better. Omar began to follow Ali's advice. Slowly, the essay became less scary. It wasn't as difficult as he had thought. He worked hard on it, and when he finished, he felt proud of himself. Omar realized that asking for help wasn't a sign of weakness, it was a smart choice. Omar had to give a presentation in front of the class. He had worked hard on his slides, and everything was prepared. But when it was his turn to speak, Omar felt nervous. His hands started shaking, and his voice was quiet. He forgot some of the words he had planned to say. His classmates looked at him, waiting. Omar could feel their eyes on him. It made him even more nervous. He took a deep breath and tried to calm down. "I can do this," Omar thought. He started speaking, slowly at first. It wasn't perfect, but he kept going. Every word felt like a struggle, but he finished the presentation. When he was done, the class clapped. Omar felt a little proud of himself. He had done it. He realized that it was okay to be nervous. What mattered was that he didn't give up. Every day, Omar tried to improve his English. He listened to English podcasts to get used to the language. He watched movies in English with subtitles to learn new words and phrases. Omar practiced speaking with Ali as much as he could. He made mistakes, but he didn't let them stop him. Slowly, Omar began to feel more confident. He started learning new words. He learned how to express his ideas more clearly. His classmates noticed that he was improving. Omar was becoming better at English, little by little. But it wasn't easy. He still made mistakes, and sometimes he felt discouraged. But he kept going. He knew that learning English would take time, and he was willing to put in the effort. The final exam came, and Omar was nervous. The test was all in English, and he wasn't sure if he was ready. But he studied hard. He read textbooks, practiced writing, and reviewed vocabulary. On the day of the exam, he felt a little more prepared. He opened the test paper and saw the questions. They were difficult, but Omar kept going. He didn't give up. He read each question carefully and answered to the best of his ability. When the exam was over, Omar felt relieved. He wasn't sure if he had passed, but he knew he had done his best. That was all he could do. A few weeks later, Omar received his result. He opened the envelope with shaking hands. He saw his grade. He had passed. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. Omar smiled. He had worked so hard, and it had paid off. He had overcome his fear of failure. He had improved his English, and that made him feel proud. "I'm not perfect, but I'm getting better," Omar thought, with a sense of accomplishment. Omar wasn't the same boy who entered college. He had learned so much. His English had improved, but so had his confidence. He had learned that struggling doesn't mean failure. It means you're trying. Omar was no longer afraid of challenges. He knew that he could handle them. English was still hard, but Omar was ready to face whatever came his way. He understood that improvement takes time and effort. He was excited for the next challenge and for all the things he would learn in the future. Now, let's practice some important words from the story. I will say the word, and you repeat with me. 1. Struggle. When something is hard or difficult. 2. Frustrated. Feeling upset because things aren't going well. 3. Embarrassed. Feeling shy or self-conscious about something. 4. Improve. To get better at something. 5. Nervous. Feeling worried or anxious. 6. confident, feeling sure of yourself. 7. Challenge, a difficult task or situation. Omar's journey shows that learning English isn't easy. But if you keep working hard, you will improve. Don't be afraid to ask for help and keep practicing. Omar is proof that struggling doesn't mean failure. Practice every day. Read, speak, and listen to English. Don't worry about mistakes. Keep going and you will improve. Thank you for watching today's story. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe to help us grow. We really appreciate your support. See you in the next video.